Daddy took a business trip, left the kids in charge, and oh, what a mess they've made. This is just another day. This week, Trump headed back to the Middle East to embark on his first major international trip. After Air Force One, or as Trump refers to it, Shitbox Zero, touched down in Saudi Arabia, the president showed the international community why no other head of state can match him when it comes to his stamina and vigor as a leader.
Read a lot of the material now out of Saudi Arabia, and Mohammed bin Salman is saying we need a resolution on a Palestinian state.
He's like a human cup of coffee. I can't wait to see how the guy who repeatedly hit Biden for being Sleepy Joe spins his televised catnap as simply a powerful man recharging his overworked leader brain. But while Trump dozes overseas, many of his cabinet members have been left stateside to handle America's business. And I gotta say, thank God Trump surrounds himself with the best people.
Radar outages, telecom dropouts, staff shortages, the nonstop parade of issues for a key travel hub.
Frightening reports all week about the very bad state of our air traffic control system.
New flight disruptions this morning at one of the nation's largest airports.
Air traffic controllers handling flights at Newark Airport experiencing another communications blackout early this morning.
That's right. Jersey's biggest airport has been whacked thanks to air traffic control issues and equipment failures. And Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy knows that when you're the guy in charge, there's no doubt about who's to blame.
So let's talk about what the Trump administration is doing moving forward to fix the problems that were left to us from the Biden-Buttigieg administration.
The Biden-Buttigieg administration? Are you kidding me? What makes you think that you can just pull off some amateur renaming move and people are just gonna get on board? Oh, my bad. Now, in fairness, the issue of the FAA's outdated equipment is nothing new. People have been sounding the alarm for years, even as far back as Trump's first term, which makes you wonder, why didn't he address this then?
You've been saying that this is decades-old problems and these issues have been present for years and years and years. So why didn't this administration initiate changes in their first administration?
The president has said this a number of times. He had a plan to come into the second part of his administration because he knew what was going on to actually fix it.
Oh, so Trump was going to fix it 4 years ago and didn't, and that was fine, but when Biden also didn't, that was bad. This is kind of like how some people look at this dress and see it as white and gold, others see it as blue and black, and Sean Duffy sees the whole thing as Biden's fault. So how bad are these equipment issues really?
The equipment that we use, much of it we can't buy parts for new. We have to go on eBay and buy parts if one part goes down.
eBay? Oh, we're so screwed. I mean, at least with Etsy, we'd be screwed but have something crafty to look at while we're stuck on the runway for 8 hours straight. Look, our outdated air traffic control problem is going to take billions of dollars and multiple years to fix, but even while we're trying to win eBay auctions to keep our planes in the sky, at least we can rest easy knowing that this administration is at least making staffing up the FAA a top priority.
The Trump administration is firing hundreds of FAA employees with probationary status. That includes critical air traffic control employees.
Wow, DOJ is really showing their efficiency when it comes to screwing over the American people. But besides the millions of people looking to take a vacation this summer, something else that won't fly is the excuse by another member of Trump's cabinet when it comes to the legality of his not-so-secret Santa gift from the Qatari government.
And the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, reportedly said in a memo that this was perfectly legal because it was a donation. Bondi, we should say, worked as a foreign lobbyist for Qatar.
She lobbied for Qatar? She runs the Justice Department. Surely she, of all people, can see the perils of engaging in quid pro quos.
In 2013, the Donald J. Trump Foundation donated $25,000 to a super PAC tied to Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi, as her office was considering a fraud investigation into Trump University. That investigation was never opened.
Damn, she's a quid pro quo pro. But Pam Bondi's lax attitude toward the possibility of foreign influence in our political system should not come as a surprise, considering she made opening the floodgates a top priority on day one. On her first day in office, Bondi disbanded the FBI's Foreign Influence Task Force and pared back enforcement of the Foreign Agents Registration Act, despite years of warnings from the intelligence community that influence by other countries was a growing threat. So I guess for Bondi, crossing our border to transform America is fine, as long as you bring a gift. Is there any chance that a single member of Trump's cabinet could have set a good example for people? If anyone is willing to restore some sanity to the U.S. government, clearly it's got to be the guy who pledges to make America healthy again, right?
Robert Kennedy Jr. with his grandchildren swimming in a creek there at Dumbarton Oaks Park.
Yeah, the problem, the Park Service says it's dangerous and illegal.
Guess not. Look, RFK, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but dangerous and illegal are kind of Pam Bondi's territory. This better be good.
The reason it's illegal is because of the E. coli issues from their combined sewer systems, and that's why they banned swimming in the D.C. area.
But on Sunday, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. posted these photos of he and his grandchildren in Rock Creek. One shows his granddaughter splashing water at him, and another with RFK Jr. fully underwater.
Did the tapeworm eat the part of his brain that puts a stop to things like this? The head of the Department of Health and Human Services broke the law, which would be bad enough unto itself, but broke the law so that he could swim in E. coli-infested waters? Wow. You'd think that the guy who kisses Trump's ass so much would have already had his fill of eating shit. Well, at least tell me that RFK didn't do this after it rained when bacteria levels were particularly high.
Rock Creek in general, over the past 5 years, has consistently failed to meet water quality standards for safe human contact.
Potomac Riverkeeper Dean Nauyuk says bacteria in the water is particularly bad after it rains, as it did on Thursday.
God damn it. Well, I guess you know what they say when it comes to gastrointestinal failure, go big or go home. But surely no one would justify such shitty behavior.
Jesse, would you swim in a sewage-filled creek?
That creek looks clean. It doesn't look like it's filled with sewage.
Hey, that's not fair. You can't expect a guy to properly assess sewage levels when he's full of shit himself. By the way, this little weekend dip wasn't some top secret plunge that RFK was trying to keep under wraps. He posted it on social media. I just hope he followed the age-old swimming rule and waited 30 minutes before poisoning his entire family. Trump loves to brag that he's hired the best people, but so far, besides passing blame, aiding in his corruption, and partaking in a diarrhea-based baptism, their main contributions have been the ability to be loyal sycophants who have no qualms about repeatedly boosting their boss's ego when asked. And the reason that Americans should actually care about this is that when actual issues arise, issues like, oh, I don't know, an impending emergency at our nation's airports, or a foreign government looking to curry favor with, or possibly spy on our commander-in-chief, or when there's some major viral outbreak ripping through the country, we want responsible adults in the chair. In Trump's first term, he foolishly surrounded himself with at least some people who had some semblance of morality, as well as an inkling of how the government should function. But this time around, he's taken his electoral victory as a mandate that he can hire the least qualified and most corrupt people Washington has to offer, and rather than keeping Americans safe, he's made us all more vulnerable than ever. Or to put it more simply, Trump has turned our healthy country into a sea of shit. Before you go, if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more and support independent media, please subscribe to this channel. The subscribe button will be right here on the screen. But second, the reality is that we are now in a political environment where this administration can lean on any of the social media platforms to suppress certain voices if they don't like critical coverage. That means my longevity here is in the hands of a few tech billionaires who are already making it clear that they are willing to cater to this administration. To that end, signing up for my newsletter is a way for me to reach you directly if that ever becomes necessary. I'll put the link right here on the screen as well, so please sign up. It's free, but there's also an option to do a paid subscription if you'd like to support me and my team. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching.